So I'm down here at my air prune beds, and so I thought I'd take a video and show y'all how these work. And basically what an air prune bed is an easy way to propagate a whole lot of plants in a really small area. Mostly trees is what I do, but over here we've got some native bushes. It's our native crimson-eyed rose mallow, which is a perennial wild hibiscus. See all the stem count. But these two beds, it's trees. This one was half American chestnut hybrids, half black walnuts, half peaches. The peaches and the American chestnuts were victim to the squirrels. I thought this wire would be enough, but the squirrels were sitting here laying on top of the wire, digging the chestnuts out, and then eating them on top of the wire. And you can see some leftover shell. They did the same to the walnuts, but the walnuts were literally just so thick in there that they couldn't eat them all. And then what was happening is the deer were walking by and eating the tops off of these, and so they were then sprouting double trunks, which isn't something we want. You want a nice straight tree. So I'm going to take some of this wire and put higher sides on it, take the wire off these beds, wire to the top, make a taller cage so the squirrels and deer can't mess up the trees. But basically the way these air prune beds work is you set them up off the ground. So I use logs, you can use whatever, you can use blocks, but I put a wire bottom in them, so when the tree roots grow down, they hit air and they air prune themselves, and then you end up getting healthier horizontal root systems that branch out the side because your taproot's been air pruned. And it makes it real easy to grow a whole lot of trees in a real small area. And right now it's about mid-January. I'm going to be taking these black walnuts out, digging them out, putting them in that basket, taking them to a different area and potting them up in 1 gallon pots. And then I'm going to add some more soil to the top of these beds, make the cages better. And I'm going to plant some wild plums and a few other trees. But I'm doing this about mid-January so that I can go ahead and get my seeds. I have them in the fridge, cold dry fine, but I go ahead and get them in these beds. And as we get into spring green up, in about a month and a half, they'll be able to green up naturally as they would in the wild. And the way I built these beds is I can break them apart. See, the bottom of this isn't screwed in, so I can just pick it up, and then it makes it where I can get the trees out easier. I got all the black walnut trees dug up. You can see how healthy the roots are. And I got my pots ready, 1 gallon pots. I believe they're 1 gallon. And there's an old pile of soil from last year. And we got the Bermuda grasses trying to creep in, but hopefully there's not too many grass roots in the center of it. You can see the farm. Yeah, we're gonna plant these black walnut trees, and then that field in the bottom over there, I leveled it last year. It was a native grass field, and now that it's level, we're going to replant it in a native food forest, kind of like the yard is here. And then once the trees are grown, we'll let it grow back up in native grasses, and we'll have us a nice native food forest, with black walnuts being the majority, because black walnuts are probably about the most valuable tree we could grow here. I got all the trees potted up. I have 22 pots. There's more trees than that, so the worst looking trees I put 2 to a pot. But 24 trees at least. Plus I got a few more in some other places. And I'll be ready to plant that field down there when I get it done. And then we normally have all of our, our fill dirt, our mulch, and our soil dumped here, because we did dozer work on this years ago, and we tried planting a fruit orchard, but all the fruit trees just kind of failed. And plus we didn't properly protect them from the deer. But we were having all this dumped here, and I'm gonna take the tractor and smooth out over it so that the fertility of the soil will increase. Even the red clay will give it some minerals, because this is pure sand. You can see the sand But this will also be orchard in the future. And then I'm clearing this thicket, and we're just going, after this orchard's planted, just keep going back through there. Yeah, black walnuts. Most people never get to experience tasting a black walnut. They're native to the U.S., and even in the U.S. we just don't really have them in the supermarket. You can normally find black walnut ice cream, but that's about it. The nuts are so hard to crack that most farms would much rather use English walnuts. But in my opinion, the black walnuts have a richer taste, and the wood is probably some of the most valuable wood you could plant. So we're going to plant a lot of them.